Britain needs a totally new system that stops rewarding people who are unproductive and punishes those who contribute. You can't claim benefits if you've never paid into the system. Then I think the level of unwanted illegal immigration would actually plummet immediately. The Labour government have totally and utterly failed in making the necessary changes to the welfare state to stop the something for nothing culture that Britain has developed. The welfare state makes payments to the disabled, pensioners and the unemployed. And for reasons that I cannot understand, Labour have gone after the disabled and pensioners. My policy recommendation is clear, that you leave the disabled and pensioners alone. For everyone else, you just follow 3 simple principles. Firstly, everyone physically able to work must work in order to receive benefits. You're not eligible for benefits if you've never paid into the system. And thirdly, a lot of benefits then will be provided in the form of vouchers, so they can only be used to purchase certain products, and luxury products are not included on this. Benefit claimants can then be offered various work from the following: litter picking, fruit picking in summer, cleaning social housing, gardening around social housing, fixing the roads and mending potholes. Even if they're single parents and they need training, something needs to be found, such as single parents can be trained up to work in care homes between the hours of 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. Although this would require training and would be difficult to implement, it has to then at least deliver the message that simply by having a child isn't a golden ticket for you then to be able to claim benefits in return for no productivity. Fitness enthusiasts claiming benefits could also take camps for underprivileged children on private school grounds when the private school is not using these facilities. This would provide valuable work for the community and also give underprivileged children, especially those with autism, the chance to use some fantastic facilities in order to then excel at what they're good at. Former military personnel who've been injured are not included in this. And that also goes for former police officers suffering from PTSD from witnessing horrendous crimes. They should not have to fill out forms to claim benefits. There should be an increased defence budget and vastly increased budget for policing, which takes care of them. Now, I personally, a few years ago, did a fundraiser for Help for Heroes. I had a boxing bout, got punched quite a few times, and it was a lovely charity to raise money for. However, I personally don't want Help for Heroes to exist because our former military personnel should be looked after by the system and not have to rely on charity. However, I would say I think some of these community tasks would be appealing to former military personnel, especially running sports camps for children on the private school facilities when they're not being used by private school children. I'm not asking the terminally ill to work to receive benefits. If the UK sorted out its benefit system, then I think the level of unwanted illegal immigration would actually plummet immediately. Imagine someone coming here by boat and saying, "Where's the hotel?" And instead, you hand them kit to go litter picking and tell them they have to do 9 hours of litter picking before they get to the hotel. I'm sure that the illegal boat crossings would plummet on the back of that. If you're a feckless father who's had lots of children with lots of different partners and are out of work claiming benefits, you're not going to get your benefits. Your benefits are going to go to your children and former partners. We're going to use your benefits money to set up junior ISAs for your children and invest that so they have some assets at the age of 18 when you've hardly actually seen them, and you have to go out to work. People over the age of 50 on benefits can be provided with some wasteland or some unproductive agricultural land and then be tasked to turn that into an allotment. They can grow some of their own vegetables. Therefore, they're self-sufficient in providing some of their weekly shop instead of relying on benefits. And then encourage them to set up a little business and sell the spare produce. Therefore, the benefit system is encouraging good, enterprise, instead of at the moment, it's just encouraging bad enterprise and encouraging benefits fraud. This could be seen by the 5 Bulgarians who were arrested in 2024 for committing £50 million worth of universal credit fraud. This also unfortunately backs up the argument that not everyone on benefits is vulnerable. Article 4 of the Human Rights Act 1998 protects people from being forced into doing compulsory labour. However, this same Article 4 also protects people from slavery. To actually say that people have a human right to receive money and not be expected to work in return, that's not slavery. It's not slavery to ask people to do a little bit of work in exchange for receiving money. So you see how ridiculous human rights have become. And I think it's now high time that we start protecting the human right of British taxpayers to actually receive some decent value in exchange for the high taxes that they have to pay. Other critics will say it's hard to implement because certain people on benefits will just simply refuse to work. We can't give people who are playing the system a simple out. Now, of course, if it then occurs that you ban them from getting benefits which they refuse to work and they turn to crime, then the overall effect is negative. So you also need to do this with a severe improvement in basic law and order so that people who refuse to work for their benefits don't just then go shoplifting, steal lots of products and then resell them on the black market. Health and safety officers and insurance people will try again to block this and come up with a lot of legislation as to why people can't work on the roads, and various other things that I've suggested. However, again, these people are aiding and abetting a culture of entitlement that the UK needs to rapidly change. The UK's national debt is approaching 3 trillion, and we only have 2.5 people of working age for every pensioner, so we can't have a society where we have even more dependents. We also spend more than 3 times as much on sickness benefits of people of working age than we do the police. Are we saying that we're happy for shoplifting, burglary, car theft to be normalised and we don't have basic law and order and we're spending 3 times more on sickness benefits for people of working age? I bet a lot of UK citizens don't want that. People are sick of working really, really hard and seeing other people claiming benefits and not working, having the same quality of life as them. Therefore, we need a radical change to the welfare system to then start having some form of decent meritocracy instead of rewarding unproductive people and punishing productive people with decent values. Please send me your comments. Let me know what you think. If you don't like this suggestion, then please, rather than just complaining, offer your solution, because the current system is totally unsustainable and is one of the contributing factors that will make Britain bankrupt.